So, as promised, I'm making the tutorial about putting specific health bars on the different AI, on specific AI that you want, and specific bosses too. And that's the second half. So we got a kind of 2-in-1 going on here. Since they're the same subject, they're all one big thing here. This request actually came from NC Kinder 7 and Fam Tremendous on the Discord. So we're gonna go ahead and knock this out, and hopefully we can make this as simple as possible. So let's go. Okay, all you need is your AI spawners. I have 4 of them out. I will explain these in just a moment, but the one we're going to be focusing on for the first half of the tutorial is this one right here. The only things that you really need to worry about is the squad label, because we're going to be using those. And I have this one set to Bravo. You can set up whatever way you want. Just remember which AI you want to have a health bar. In my case, it's going to be a Hunter Banished. I have them on my team so they don't try to kill me. Other than that, that's all I did here. These are 3 separate bosses entirely on 3 different spawners, and they each have 1 boss apiece. There is a reason for that, and they're not on right now, so they won't spawn. So that way we can do the first half of the tutorial, and then we can talk about these guys after that. So let's go ahead and head into the scripting and knock this one out. So let's go to Events AI and On Squad Spawn. It can be any squad, so use On Squad Spawn. Just that one. Go down to Logic and grab for each object and plug it in just like this. Now go ahead and from AI Basic, we're going to grab a couple of nodes. We're going to grab Get All AI Units and plug AI Units into the object's input for each object. Next, we're going to go down here and Get Squad from AI Unit, just like that. We're going to get all the nodes out here before we plug anything in to this for each object node. So now we're going to get AI Character Type from AI Advanced. Place it here because we're going to put one right here just for neatness. And that one is going to be Get Squad Has Squad Label, because yes, we are using the fix, so we don't have to set up a squad trinity variable, because that would take too much time and we don't need to, not this time. So go ahead and plug in AI unit from here to the current object. And yes, any node I will be using in this tutorial, every single node that says AI unit will be plugging back to this specific current object input or output. So if you see me skip over it and you see it says AI unit, it's going to come back to right here every single time. So that way I don't have to repeat it so many times. Get Squad Has Squad Label. We'll go ahead and plug squad in to this squad right here. And then squad label is the one you want to be focusing on. So the AI that you want to have the health bar, which in my case will be 100 Banished, is going to be on Bravo squad. So that's one thing we need to make sure of. And then we're going to need to do something with this to make sure that it's the 100 Banished. So plug that AI unit in there. And then go down to Logic Compare, and grab a Compare Character Type. And I'm going to talk about this node because something did not happen to it that needed to with the latest update. But we'll get to that later. Compare Character Type, plug it into Character Type right here. Just like that, Character Type A. The Character Type B is selecting the one that you want to have the health bar. So, Hunter Type, or Hunter Banished. Go ahead and grab a Logic, Boolean Logic right here. And plug in Has Label from Get Squad Has Squad Label to operand A. And then operand B are same character type. You can go ahead and get branch here. Plug it in like this. Execute per object. To start it, the condition is or and. It is and. Yes, it is and. Just make sure it says and. There we go. You're probably wondering, okay, what if I have 2 Hunter Banished on this spawner? Will it give them a health bar? Yes, it will, because this is a very basic version of it that doesn't use object variables. So it's probably best if you wanted to have more Hunter Banished in your map, have them on a separate spawner, not on this one. Have only 1 Hunter Banished on this one, or whatever AI it is you want to have the health bar. Have only 1 of them on this spawner and have the other ones on a different spawner with a different squad label. That way it prevents any errors, and you're for sure only going to have it that way, because the way it's set up is it has to be on Bravo squad and it has to be 100 Banished on my end for it to give it a health bar, because otherwise it will not get a health bar. Okay, so let's go to AI modifiers and let's grab Set Health Bar Visible. Go from if true on the branch, start it, and then the AI unit of course goes here, and then visibility is set to true. So now when they spawn, only the hunter will have a health bar, just like that. The elite doesn't have one, the brute doesn't have one, only our buddy has the health bar. And what I meant by that is, let me go ahead and duplicate this. So yes, both of these will have Bravo and both of them have a Hunter banished. So yes, when they spawn, you will see both Hunters have a health bar, but they don't have to, because all you need to do is just make sure that they do not have the same squad label by switching it to something else. So now I switched it to Zulu. That Hunter does not have a health bar this time. So that's the pretty basic way of setting up a specific AI to have a health bar and none of the others without too much trouble. I feel like it's a simple way without using object variables, which can get complicated pretty fast. So there you go. That's the first half of the tutorial, so if that's all you wanted, that's all you need. We're going to continue on with the boss half because it functions a little differently. So I'm going to say I've got Escharom here, he's Echo Squad, Checklock here with Delta, and Bassus here with Charlie. I'm going to go ahead and turn them on. There we go. Turn you on, and you. They're all on now. So if I spawn them in, they'll each have their health bars, and they will each have, you know, their names above them. Okay. But what if we don't want them to have that, and we only want one boss to have it? Well, that's neat, because we're going to be using Get Squad Has Squad Label again. And this is the only node we can use for this, because we can't use this. That's what I was talking about whenever I say we come back to it. This node was not updated with the boss update. You can't pick any of the new bosses from the character type B list or any of them. You can't pick bosses from it. Character type A is the same way, no bosses. So you can't use this node in the same fashion that we use this. So you can't narrow it down as tightly as we want with these. So we have to make sure that any AI that we want to have a health bar that spawns is on the same squad as this guy right here, which is Charlie, or another one, but we'll get to that. So we only want Bassus to have a squad or a health bar. So we plug squad in back here. All squads in the script will be plugged back into here. The squad that we got from our AI unit, because we're still just running it through all AIs in the map. This time we're going to be checking for Charlie squad because that's what Bassus is on. Oops. There we go. Just duplicate this, set it here because we're going to need another branch. We're going to be traveling from the if false this time. And the condition is, does it have Charlie instead? If it's not a Hunter banished and it's not on Bravo, then it's going to say, okay, does the AI have Charlie? If not, that's where we're going to be running from. If false, then it will not get a health bar. It will actually turn all health bars off if they don't meet either of these requirements. So I'm going to go and start it, and as you'll see, oops, I'm not going to test it out yet. AI unit. You're going to want to plug that back in where it goes. I 100% skipped over that. There we go. Now, if they don't meet the criteria, they will not get a health bar. So you see, our Hunter still has one. Bassus has one, but these guys do not have one. So that's how you do that. And if you only want, let's say, one group of bosses to have a AI health bars and your other two don't, or whatever. But there's one last thing we're going to add here is you want to have, let's say you want to have Checklock also have his health bar, but not Escharom. But they're on two different squads because they spawn at two different times. Because you don't want all of your bosses, let's say, to spawn from one spawner at the same time, right? You might, in which case the first bit of that works for you. But if you don't, this is what you should do. Go ahead and get Squad Has Squad Label again. Plug it back where it goes. Disconnect Has Label here. Disconnect this from your branch. Move this to here because we're going to be adding a Boolean logic. And I'll show you something else as well when we finish this. Because now we're going to plug Has Label into operand A and Has Label into operand B. And we're going to be dragging from the OR category this time. So you're going to want to make sure to change that to Delta. So that way it matches. So that way Charlie and Delta. That means if it's at least on Charlie or Delta, it will get a health bar. And if it's not on either one of those or does not fit our Hunter's description, it will not get a health bar. Bassus and Checklock do have health bars now. Escharom does not. So yeah, if you want to continue it, that's pretty much what you're going to have to do. Go ahead and duplicate this again. And this time create a Boolean logic. again, plug this one in. Let's say you want Escharum to also have a health bar, so we'll go ahead and do that just for examples to show you. Change that to Echo because it's the different squad. Go ahead and operand B will actually be from this Boolean logic. So that way, because we're going to be using OR for all of them, so that's all we have to do is just plug OR several times because it all still says OR. We can combine all of these. So we can actually do it again and again and again for however many squads you have that have bosses that you want to have a health bar. You will just have to create a Boolean logic to combine them all, you know, for each one. But yeah, we can test this out. You'll see Escharum does now in fact have his health bar and his name. So there you go. That's how you set up specific bosses and specific AI to have health bars. And there you have it. So now you can have a mini boss that is separate from your big bosses by having a little health bar on it compared to their big named health bars, or you can have an AI that's a boss that just doesn't seem that big of a deal compared to something like Escharum or something, not have a health bar, but still be a kind of formidable AI to fight. So that's why you have this tutorial to help you figure that out. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.